Mount Everest, the highest peak on Earth, stands at a breathtaking height of 29,031.7 feet, or 8,848.86 meters. This majestic mountain, part of the Himalayas, has captivated explorers, scientists, and adventurers for centuries. But have you ever wondered what makes Mount Everest so special? And what makes it both an incredible achievement to climb, yet also one of the deadliest challenges on the planet? Let's take a journey through the history, accomplishments, and dangers of Mount Everest and uncover the stories that make it a symbol of human perseverance. The story of Everest starts long before it became famous. In the early 19th century, Westerners were only beginning to understand the vastness of the Himalayas. The mountain was known by locals as Sagarmatha in Nepali and Chomolungma in Tibetan, which translates to Mother Goddess of the World. It wasn't until 1856 that British surveyors, during the Great Trigonometric Survey of India, officially identified Mount Everest as the world's highest peak. Named after Sir George Everest, the British Surveyor General of India, the mountain's real name, Peak 15, was largely forgotten in favor of this new title. But what truly made Everest famous wasn't just its name, it was the allure of climbing it. The first serious attempt to summit Everest was made by a British expedition in 1921. They reached a high point, but it was clear that the summit was not going to be easily conquered. Over the following decades, more attempts were made, but the mountain's fierce conditions, isolation, and extreme altitude made success seem impossible. Then, in 1953, the world was stunned when Sir Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay, a Sherpa of Nepal, became the first people to successfully reach the summit of Mount Everest. This momentous achievement not only marked a new chapter in human exploration, but also symbolized the indomitable spirit of adventure. Can you imagine standing at the highest point on Earth for the first time? The excitement must have been overwhelming for Hillary and Norgay, but it wasn't the end of Everest's story, it was just the beginning. Since that historic summit in 1953, climbing Everest has become a goal for adventurers from all over the world. Every year, hundreds of people travel to Nepal, eager to stand on top of the world. However, over time, the mountain's fame has come with some unintended consequences. Today, climbing Mount Everest is more accessible than ever before, but with this accessibility has come a troubling reality. The mountain is becoming overcrowded. In recent years, long lines at the summit have become a common sight, and climbers can face delays that increase their exposure to the mountain's dangers. Can you imagine waiting in line to reach the top of the world only to face the terrifying risks of altitude sickness, exhaustion, or frostbite? Despite the advances in technology, equipment, and knowledge, climbing Everest remains a risky endeavor. The dangers of the mountain are not to be underestimated. The weather on Everest can be unpredictable, with blizzards and extreme winds making it difficult to even stand, let alone climb. The thin air at high altitudes leaves climbers with less oxygen, making even the simplest tasks feel exhausting. And let's not forget the death zone, which begins at around 26,000 feet. In this area, the body starts to break down, and climbers can experience severe symptoms of hypoxia, a lack of oxygen in the blood. At this height, climbers must be quick. Every minute counts, and even a slight delay can prove fatal. So, why do people continue to climb despite these dangers? For many climbers, the challenge itself is a powerful draw. Standing on top of Everest is a dream that few people ever get to realize. For others, the journey is about testing personal limits, achieving something extraordinary, or honoring a loved one. But no matter the reason, the reality is that climbing Everest requires more than just physical strength. It demands mental toughness and an unwavering commitment to the goal. There's a saying among mountaineers: you don't climb Everest because you are strong. You climb Everest because you are willing to suffer. With the increasing number of climbers, the risks are also growing. Over the past few years, we've seen a rise in the number of fatalities on the mountain. In 2019 alone, there were 11 deaths. Factors like overcrowding, lack of experience, and poor decision-making have led to more tragic outcomes. But it's not just the climbers who are in danger. Sherpas, the local guides who make the climbs possible, have long been essential to successful expeditions, yet they often face incredible risks themselves. The Sherpas are experts in the mountain's terrain and are crucial for helping climbers navigate Everest's harsh environment, but they too are exposed to the extreme dangers of altitude and weather. Many Sherpas consider it a duty to help climbers, but it comes at a cost, as they are also vulnerable to accidents and health issues related to the high altitudes. Despite these risks, the mountain continues to attract those who are determined to conquer it. And the number of climbers isn't expected to decrease anytime soon. Advances in technology, such as improved oxygen masks and better weather forecasting, have made the climb more feasible for some. However, these improvements can only go so far. The reality is that no matter how much technology evolves, Everest will always be a dangerous place. But that's part of what makes it so alluring. The unpredictability, the beauty, and the challenges are what keep people coming back year after year. One of the most fascinating aspects of Everest is its environmental impact. As more people attempt to summit, the mountain is facing increased pollution. The sheer volume of climbers has led to an accumulation of trash, discarded equipment, and even human waste on the mountain. In 2019, Nepal implemented a new rule requiring climbers to bring down at least 18 pounds of trash, including used oxygen bottles and discarded gear, to help combat the growing problem. But this is just one step toward preserving the beauty of the mountain for future generations. The true challenge lies in finding ways to balance the demand for adventure with the need to protect the environment. Viewers, if you've ever wondered what it would be like to stand on top of the world, climbing Everest might seem like a dream come true. But after hearing about the challenges, the danger, and the history, it's clear that it's not a journey to be taken lightly. It takes courage, resilience, and a deep respect for the mountain to attempt such a feat. Whether or not you ever climb it, Mount Everest remains a symbol of human ambition, strength, and the drive to push beyond the limits. It reminds us that while we may reach great heights, the true test is in how we rise above the challenges along the way. So, what do you think, viewers? Is Everest something you'd like to conquer, or is it simply a distant dream, a reminder of what humans are capable of when we dare to dream big? Share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going about one of the most remarkable natural wonders on Earth.